All right, we are back here with the Right Fits. I'm Kevin Fitzpatrick. All right, today we got some big breaking news about the Epstein cases. We all know we like the Epstein case, right? Jeffrey Epstein, we know he was well, we don't know exactly what he was. Most people think he was part of some intelligence agency, right? So Jeffrey Epstein, this billionaire, financial guru. That's what he did to the outside world. He was a financial guy. No one on Wall Street knew who he was, but he was this huge, successful financial guy. Got billionaires to back him and give him like a house in one of the most expensive houses in New York City. And in his house, he had two paintings of George W. Bush in a dress and Bill Clinton in a dress too, something like that. Like he had dirt on them, and almost as if he owned them or possessed them, was able to humiliate them in some way. And so this gets back to what is coming out today, or coming out yesterday. I think a judge signed that the Epstein list of who flew on his jet needs to be released. Okay, so the judge signed this. Now it's not coming out immediately. It's going to come out in 2 weeks. So that gives everybody who's on that list the time to file an appeal to say, hey, why my name shouldn't be available to the public. And that's gonna be a lot of people. There are gonna be a lot of politicians. I mean, who do we know? Bill Clinton was on his jet. We know RFK Jr. was on his jet, right? We know George W. Bush was on his jet, right? There are a lot of senators, just a lot of scientists, and the whole idea, I mean, so obviously he didn't kill himself in jail. That's the first thing. If you think he actually killed himself in jail, you could turn off the video. Don't even try learning anymore, actually. Just watch the news, because you'll believe everything the government tells you if you really think he killed himself in the jail where no one had ever killed himself before. So he didn't kill himself. That's guaranteed, and this list is why he didn't kill himself, right? He had names to name, and he could do that. Jeffrey Epstein, because they think, this is the theory, he was part of some intelligence organization, either our CIA, or because he had an Israeli passport and was a Jew, that it was for Mossad, the Israeli special forces. So CIA or Mossad, one of them, right? And this goes back to Ghislaine Maxwell. Her father was a spy, I believe, for Israel, or England, or Britain. I forget exactly, but that's how her connection with the deep state gets to. That's Ghislaine Maxwell's connection to the deep state, and how some people think Jeffrey Epstein got in that road, right? And while he was in jail, right, in the jail that no one could kill themselves in, he somehow kills himself with a bunch of stuff that wasn't supposed to be allowed in his in his cell with him. But somehow all that stuff set up perfectly, and the guards were sleeping, and the video cameras weren't working. This was set up on purpose by very highly powerful people, enough to pay the bribes to the family of the guards members who have to go serve some time or whatever, or lost their job, their money, So money can buy you a lot of things, and the people who do not want their names off these lists, primarily presidents, right? Presidents, and senators, heads of universities, we're going to see all sorts of people that could come up on these lists, because these lists are people who flew with them. So not necessarily they're all pedophiles, but here's how the thought, his honeypotting scheme was set up. So this honeypotting scheme is a scheme that intelligence services can use to essentially blackmail other politicians, foreign leaders, scientists of other countries, into getting them to vote or just support whatever that person wants, whatever influence they want, whatever bill they need passed, whatever grant funding they need, right? So they'll come. Jeffrey Epstein, who's in the Mossad or CIA, will pick out these people, establish a relationship with these people, and then, make them feel comfortable, get them going on these islands, say, I can fund you some money, and then he will, because he's got that backing because of whoever's, the Mossad, whoever, right? Because it's important to know these, the NSA, CIA, Mossad, MI6, they don't just give money to people, right? They have people that they use as, right? So the CIA is just not going to send a check to their spy, right? They're going to have middlemen that essentially leak the funding to spies that they have. And there's all sorts of information on this. But what they would do is get these clients, scientists, politicians, make them feel comfortable, eventually get them going to that house they had in Palm Springs, or the Little St. James Island, or whatever, that one out there in the Atlantic, and they would essentially videotape them after seeing if they want to have sex with minors. I'm sure there's other stuff going on. I'm sure it's not just sex with minors, because that's the big one though, right? You get a gay stuff too, whatever they want. I'm sure he could provide them with those type of trafficked people. And I don't even think it was just children. I think it was men and women and boys and girls that were all, I don't know, 25 and under, I would say, something like that. But they use these people, right? And so the guy, so he could have a male politician, right, who's like, oh, I think I'll sleep with that guy. But he's not supposed to be gay. To the public, he's straight. And then they videotape him doing something like that. And then they go, look, here's that evidence we have on you now. And we could prove to the world that you're gay. You're not going to ever win another Senate seat. Your reputation's going to be destroyed. And those are the type of people he was blackmailing. And this is how he was doing it. This is why he had those paintings of the presidents, because he knew in a symbolic way that he had control over these guys, which is the same reason why these extremely powerful people killed them. So even though Jeffrey Epstein was powerful in his own right, he did not have the backing of, almost entire intelligence services like Clinton's could perhaps have. If you're just a spy for Mossad, they're not, they like what you're producing for them, but they're not necessarily gonna bust you out of jail or whatever. So when he did get arrested, those powerful people needed him off, and they obviously set that up brilliantly. And then the American press just falls right in line. Now, not really with that one. I think even a lot of people on the news were like, okay, yeah, this is very suspicious that he killed himself. But no, he definitely didn't kill himself. I don't know how. If you really think that, that's like a really good litmus test for telling if someone's extremely gullible, or how trusting they are in the government. If someone says, I believe everything the government says, they're gonna. If someone thinks that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, they would also believe anything else the government would say. So yeah, crazy stuff coming out. Hopefully we get to hear some of the names, dude, because we all know, child rape and trafficking children is a much bigger issue. And I'm not trying to sound like QAnon now, because I'm not. It's a much bigger issue than we admit in our society. And part of the reason is because of a lot of elites deal with this stuff, right? If you're a middle class, this is creepy to think about, but if you're a middle class or even upper middle class or poor sex offender, what are you going to do, right? You're going to try to pick up a child or something like that, and you're going to probably get busted pretty quickly and end up in jail, right? Where not with these guys, right? These are big, high-level, high-profile people that they do it through more like you would see through, what's that movie with Liam Neeson, when he's, I will find you, I will kill you, that movie. It's more like that. That's what he dealt with. High-end, extremely rich people. Because rich people can essentially buy whatever they want. And a lot of that stuff is illegal. And a lot of that information is wanted by other governments. So undoubtedly, most likely, the Mossad, the Israeli intelligence forces, have a lot of information on the U.S. Politicians and presidents. And it's been known that the Israelis have planted so many bugs in the White House building. It's said that Israel knows, like, hears everything that's going on in Israel or in the White House because of how many cameras they've bugged the White House with. And now you look at how we're supporting the Israeli war. It really goes back to, if Israel has that much dirt about these people sleeping with kids, could they be using that as leverage as, hey, you better follow us in these wars. You don't want Biden, you don't want, us knowing that you took a trip with Jeffrey Epstein and had sex with a 17-year-old girl 20 years ago, But you never know. It's just crazy stuff, crazy Epstein stuff. All right, guys, let me know if you like it. Give me some likes. Subscribe, please. Have a great day.